Hi there, this is Julian Lage, and I'm here to offer some tips about playing the guitar, specifically the acoustic guitar. This whole realm is something I've been working on my whole life, and I'm in love with it, and it's a constant challenge. And I'm always fine-tuning the things that I think help me feel more comfortable as an acoustic guitarist. One of the biggest hurdles that I've run into, and I think a lot of fellow guitarists have as well, is that you think when you play an acoustic guitar, often you have to work harder or play with more muscular tension or somehow manifest a sound. And one of the things that has helped me a lot is to practice playing acoustic guitar extremely quietly and touching it very gently and trying to get in touch with the guitar's ability to kind of turn whatever you do into a beautiful sound. That's kind of why acoustic guitars are cool, is they're already doing a lot of the work for you. So one of the most basic things I've done to work on that is practicing scales where I don't have any vibrato. And one of the tendencies is we'll play a note and we'll kind of goose it. And that can have aesthetic effects. It can give it vibrato, but often it's kind of a nervous tension that can kind of diffuse the sound of the guitar more than enhance it. So if you're looking for a way to just kind of slow down and get in touch with the acoustic guitar as a tool, I would say a good way to do that is to practice very plainly. This is a little bit unrelated to any specific thing on the guitar, but it has more to do with what you do when you're in a rut. Most of my life has been punctuated by these periods where I have no idea what I'm doing, and I feel at a loss for how to fix it. And it can be depressing, and it can also be enlightening, because you have to face your issues, and everyone's got different things. But the one continual thread for me has always been that I want to play music. And it sounds so simple and almost obvious, but what I try to make time for every day if I can, whether it be literally 1 minute, I'll set a timer, or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, is just to play music on the guitar. For me, that tends to largely be improvised. But there can be nothing more frustrating than picking up the guitar and feeling like you're not allowed to play until you practice X, Y, and Z. So start out with just playing something you like. You know, if I picked up the guitar first thing today, I'd probably do something like this. And it's different every time, but the point is now I can work on whatever felt challenging during the midst of that, or something I thought, well, those harmonics are cool. Well, then I'll spend half hour on harmonics, or, wow, I wish I had this a little more fluid, and then I could practice that. But it starts with you playing music, and that might help you if you're ever in a rut. The biggest thing that I continually come back to as an acoustic guitar player is that there's usually one technique or another that I want to perfect. You know, often it's the right hand. I'm more of a flat picker. I do some hybrid picking. I don't know much about fingerstyle, although I appreciate it. And I've spent a lot of time working on right-hand techniques, often at the exclusion of the left hand. And early on, I realized I kind of made a division that was potentially unhealthy, which is I started seeing my job as someone who had to train one hand and then train the other and then go back and forth. And as much as I had good intentions, it made me think about them as two separate things. So whenever you're practicing, if you spend 20 minutes thinking about your right hand, think about your left hand for 20 minutes. Don't forget about your legs. You know, if they're locked and you're playing, it'll often cause an overall sense of tension. But I had a teacher once who told me very wisely, he said, you don't want to be a one-handed guitar player. And I knew what he meant. You don't want to. I don't want to be someone who's super robust over here, but not nearly as elegant in other places that I need to be. So whatever you do, always balance it by sides, and hopefully it'll keep you feeling healthy.